Hey, what's up, everybody? How are you doing? Tyler here with your movie fix. Today, we're going to be talking about the Suicide Squad Extended Edition. I was really unsure if I was going to be able to put this up today. I was just feeling like absolute crap. But I just woke up from like a wonderful, most awesome 1 hour nap. I just got home from running out with my girlfriend and I died a little. But now I feel pretty great, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Yesterday, I had the chance to check out digitally the extended cut of Suicide Squad that they released, and I am going to be going into spoilers, guys, because this is just an extended edition of a movie with only 10 more minutes of footage, and there's no other point in talking about this if I'm not going to talk about some specifics. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing a total full review of the movie because, we got to see what it was in theaters, and pretty much this version just has some other things added in. This isn't a case like Dawn of Justice where it's kind of totally changing points of views. It's not really adding anything to the plot. We're just getting some things sprinkled in here and there, some minute or two sequences added in here or there that really only add to the characters, but not so much to the movie as a whole. And to that, I have to say that, like, just what the fuck? What the hell is, Warner Brothers doing with, or is this David Ayer? I imagine this has to be more of a studio thing because this was only it was 11 minutes of added footage. And at least with Dawn of Justice, I could understand it. I could understand why they wouldn't want to put a total 3-hour movie in theaters and why they didn't want to put a 3-hour rated R movie in theaters. I get it. I understood that. And that was a totally different version of the movie. But like I said, what they added in here only makes it a 2-hour and 13-minute movie. That's very doable. Put that in theaters. Nothing in this was rated R. I think technically this was unrated, which there wasn't really anything in it that really required it to be unrated. So it was still very PG-13 with what we got. And like I said, none of this added to the plot. This was all stuff that added to the characters. And what I said in my original review is that I feel like the plot was rather thin. And I still stand by that. But I do, however, love these characters, and I love the way that they were played. And that's what we got, and that's what I feel the movie needed. And I mentioned that I felt like the movie, it has its strong points when we were getting the slower, more character moments in the original cut of the film, such as the bar sequence, which we had a couple more slower moments in this movie that let it breathe better. So I will say that this is a better version of the film, but this is just like, why? Why was this not released? Because there's no real reason why it wasn't, other than at this point, yes, it felt like a cash grab for maybe trying to sucker in a few more people to get to buy the Blu-ray or whatever, because this movie did nothing but add in characterization, and it didn't change the plot, and it didn't make the movie obscenely longer or anything like that. And as far as like these longer moments that we needed in the film, a couple that I want to point out is that we got to have Harley kind of having a back and forth with Captain Boomerang, and trying to get everyone riled up in the squad to make a little breakout plan. Just like in the moments of them walking out in the alley shortly after or before Slipknot dies, and then there was also a moment later in the film where she's kind of going going to each member of the squad and trying to get a rouse out of everyone. She's trying to pick them apart. She's just being Harley, and she's just kind of slowly talking to everybody, trying to get in their heads, and that was kind of cool. I liked those moments, and I think the movie really needed those moments because the only one we really got in the original cut of the film was the bar scene, and even that was even slower, more drawn out. And there were moments with Killer Croc that we got to hear just a little bit more about him. There was a great moment with Katana and Harley where she gets all up in her face and says, like, I'm not hiding behind this mask, as in Katana's not. Great. Like, we needed that. And the bar scene was even better in this cut of the film because we got to see Harley kind of poking fun at everyone again. And it was just a slower, more intimate, cut of the film, which I like. But my problem still lies in that I think that just the overall plot is a little weaker, but I'm going to go in that in just a minute. And as far as what's added in with the Joker, again, these were the better, slower moments that we needed in this version. We got to see like a little bit more in the interrogation cut, with Joker having Harley on the table before he's about to shock her, talking about, you left me in a black hole of rage and confusion. And that was kind of cool. I like seeing that. It was just like an extra 20-30 seconds of something that did help with Jared's, characterization of the Joker. And the biggest addition is going to be like a motorcycle chase scene. I'm imagining sometimes shortly after she helps get Joker out of Arkham Asylum, and she's chasing him on a motorcycle. She pulls up next to him. He's just trying to act like she's not even there, pisses her off. She stops him. They have a moment. And it's really just characterization for Harley and Joker, and that scene leads directly into the Ace Chemical scene where, would you live for me? No, that's too easy. Would you die for me? And she goes and she jumps into the vat of chemicals and basically becomes Harley Quinn. And it was a direct tie-in to that, and I think it was important to leave in the film. And although I'm still on the fence about Jared's Joker, I wish I wasn't on the fence. But I liked seeing more of it. It was better to see more of his interpretation and letting it see it in a full scene, because we didn't really ever get to see a full scene. I mean, I still don't really care for the hunka hunka moment, but getting to see the Ace Chemicals and the motorcycle chase scene, I was more on board with his Joker than I was before. So in that regard, it won me over just slightly. But no, we don't get anything added into the burnt face thing with him rumored to take on the Suicide Squad in the subway. That was never there. Didn't happen. But one thing I really wanted to see on this cut of the film, and we didn't get it. So whatever. There was really only just 2 bits of extended Joker where he's torturing Harley and the motorcycle thing. So as far as the plot goes, like I said, this doesn't add anything to it. But I just want to release some frustrations with this film, because yes, I still love the characters. I love seeing them played. I think all the actors did a pretty good job at playing them. It's just that I still think the problem is that this is a rather weak and kind of dumb plot, because if you look at Assault on Arkham, the big twist is that Batman was really kind of taking over and was in disguise as one of the members of the Suicide Squad. And that was a pretty cool reveal. The twist in this movie is that the Suicide Squad has actually been sent on a mission to go rescue Amanda Waller, who had just put them together like the day before. And I think the whole point of rescuing Amanda Waller, I just think it's dumb. I really think that was a bad plot twist. I think it was kind of stupid. They could have made that, this target that they've been assigned to go rescue in Midway City, it could have been someone important that actually had information on how to defeat Enchantress, but instead it wasn't. It was just her. And didn't add anything. I don't feel like it added anything, even though it allowed for, her and Deadshot to kind of have it out and that kind of stuff. But I really felt like it was an unnecessary, stupid twist. And as far as the Enchantress goes, I still 100% think that they could have had a better villain, a more grounded type of Black Ops terrorist kind of mission instead of Enchantress. But I will say, because we had these slower moments throughout the film, because all of them happened way before the finale of the film, the big fight, because we got to grow with these characters a little more, and it wasn't so fast-paced. Here's Enchantress and this weird witch shit. We didn't really have that, and it was a slower build-up to it, so it wasn't as jarring when we did get to the final fight with Enchantress. So in that regard, it was better. It wasn't so jarring and in your face that there's just this weird witch thing going on here. So although I'm still up in the air about that I care to see a Harley Quinn movie, I still don't even know that I necessarily care to see another Suicide Squad movie. Even though I like these characters like Captain Boomerang and Deadshot, Katana, and Harley, I feel like this movie is so self-contained that you don't really have to have a sequel. Nothing that really happened in this movie has to have any effect on anything. It's not going to change Justice League. It's not going to change Batman. It's not going to change Flash or any of those. So if we don't have to have another one of these movies, I almost don't see the point. Especially if Harley's broken out and she's the main star of Suicide Squad. We can have Deadshot be involved somehow in Batman, but the events of Suicide Squad still really don't affect too many things. Maybe Enchantress and her introduction of magic as a whole could have some effect on Dark Universe or Justice League Dark. That's a big maybe. There's no way they're bringing her back or anything like that. But just the fact that we got an introduction, and it could be like a ripple effect or some of something. But, Wonder Woman also deals with magic, and she's been around for 5,000 years, and she was already in the public, 100 years ago in World War I. So whatever. But yeah, I gave the original cut of this film a 7.8 out of 10. And for this version, just because it adds more characterization, and I enjoyed seeing the characters that much more, I'm going to give the extended cut of Suicide Squad an 8 out of 10. But it's just, with this movie, I never really got super involved and engulfed with the idea of this movie while watching it in the same way that I could with Man of Steel or Dawn of Justice. It just never really captured me and got me emotionally involved in the film. Not to say that I wasn't interested in these characters, but something about the overall mission and the plot of this movie just couldn't really capture me. And I think, I'm probably still being a little generous on the 8 out of 10, but at the very least, I can say that I really enjoy and I'm entertained by these characters. I think that's the really strongest, that's the big strength of this movie. So comment your thoughts down below. What did you think of the extended cut of Suicide Squad? How did you feel about these, additional scenes with Jared Leto's Joker? Did it win you over? Did it, for those of you that didn't like him, did it win you over? Or did it just add fuel to the fire that you don't really care for this interpretation and you maybe want to see that changed softly down the road in a Batman movie or something like that? But I do want to hear your thoughts. Let's discuss down below, guys, on the extended cut of Suicide Squad. As always, it's been fun. Leave your thoughts down below. And if you want more videos like this, more movie news, movie reviews, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.